All right, Flo here at Flo Strength with Cris. Let's just share a little bit about your experience with us. So first of all, Cris, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Chris. I'm a 41-year-old graphic designer, and I had been living a very sedentary lifestyle up until about 2 months ago when I met Flo. And yeah, after, I don't know, since forever, it's the first time I'm seeing actual progress. I'm feeling good. I'm stronger. I'm a lot more flexible, and I feel like I'm losing weight without, doing ridiculous things. It's
So
just sustainable.
that's amazing, right? You have good results. How much weight have
Yeah.
you lost in those
I
2 months?
lost about 5 kilograms.
That's great. And you got stronger at the same time,
Yeah,
which is
yeah, yeah.
pretty amazing. But let's backtrack a little bit. Why did you want to start training?
I wasn't feeling good about myself. I was tired all the time. I was overweight, which was obviously a big problem. I didn't care what I ate and when I ate it, and yeah, obviously it didn't feel good. Like I was tired. I couldn't focus on my job. I was sleepy all the time, and especially if I had to like go out or do any sort of activity, I always felt like I was out of breath or I was, the last one to get there.
Yeah, and kind of feeling like the now after completely not worrying about your health, it was starting to hold you back in what you want to
Exactly.
do
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
friends or your
Yeah.
day-to-day life.
Exactly. It was definitely impacting my kind of like social life and yeah, the way
Yeah,
I was behaving.
that's probably the biggest there, right? I mean, okay, I'm a bit biased. Lifting heavy weights is kind of cool, but being able to do fun things outside and enjoy life is
Yeah.
really the
Yeah. Yeah.
goal.
Yeah. And I think there's also obviously the psychological impact because I wasn't mentally feeling good about myself, so that was taking its toll. So yeah.
Now, my big question is, it's only been 2 months, which is actually not a big amount of time. How has that all changed?
Um, it's actually the first time that I'm comfortable, not only comfortable, like I want to get here. I tried going by myself to the gym with absolutely no results. I did nothing. It was just, waking up too early or, nothing was going well. I didn't lose weight. I wasn't necessarily feeling better about myself. And yeah, I felt like the gym was just not working. But that was obviously because I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't pushing myself or wasn't doing the right exercises. I was just playing it by ear and absolutely no results.
But yeah, but you really made my job easy because you've kind of the ideal client. You understood your limitations and that you didn't know what you were doing, and so you looked for someone who actually can help you and
Yeah.
guide you along the way. So that made my job easy because you're easy to coach. Now, you decided to start with personal training versus group classes. Can you tell me why?
I guess I tried some group classes a few years ago and again saw no results because I wasn't consistent and I wasn't really feeling it. Again, it was probably a combination of me being completely out of shape and not managing to keep up, waking up too early, not eating properly. It was a mix of everything, and I just felt like I was helpless and stuck. This happened for like the, at least 2 or 3 years. And eventually I figured, okay, I tried different things, but I haven't tried an actual specialist, so I need someone to teach me what to do. So I figured personal training works best because I need someone to actually focus on me and, get me from like ground zero up to something. And yeah, that's why I did this. And then got comfortable enough to move into group classes and not be, scared.
Yeah, gain a little bit of confidence and a little bit of momentum as well through those first few weeks of personal training.
Exactly.
And now you're still doing both. So one
Yeah.
personal training session a week and two group classes,
Yep.
which is your new rhythm. And that's kind of like working out really
Yeah,
well.
this is kind of like my perfect sort of ballpark for now. I think it's the most involvement I can have for now. Hopefully, I'll get up to more classes eventually, but at least now I feel like I get into a healthy routine and I can be here and not be tired or just feel good.
And it fits with your lifestyle, right? It
Yeah,
feels sustainable,
yeah,
which is a
exactly.
big key point, I think, in our approach and making sure that, hey, like this is for life. This is a new lifestyle that we
Exactly.
want to achieve. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you've changed your nutrition.
For me, I think the biggest issue were carbs. I love pasta. Not only pasta. I love rice, pasta, potatoes, the works, like the worst things. And ever since I got here, I felt like this needs to be complemented by an actual change in my nutrition, and that was the biggest issue. I had to change that, and I tried to lose as many of the carbs as possible. I do maybe like one cheat day a week, but um, I wasn't necessarily a big bread eater. But the pasta at first I felt would be an issue, but eventually proved not to be.
Yeah.
And just replacing it with alternatives like a lot more veggies and protein, yes, it just works. And eventually, this is kind of weird because when I started working out, it's like your mind is telling you, uh, don't throw it all away. You did all that work. Don't go for the burger. You're just gonna cancel it out. So
Yeah.
eventually, you get into this sort of rhythm where you actually feel better and you don't feel like cheating. So yeah, that's why it's kind of sustainable, and I'm comfortable like maybe once a week doing going not wild, but getting some sweets, getting some pasta or stuff like that. But I don't feel like I've made some unsustainable effort or something that couldn't be I couldn't keep up with. It's fine.
Right. Do you feel like you're restricting yourself?
No, not right now. No, not even at first. At first, I did keep in mind like avoid the pasta, avoid the rice because if I had so much before. But right now, it's just I got
Yeah.
used to it.
Every time you want to make change, you need to make a conscious effort, and that does require a little bit more work. It's a little bit harder, but then very quickly it starts to become just what you
Yeah,
do,
exactly.
and then you don't think about it anymore. Um, but those things are super important. What do you feel? You said you don't feel like you restrict yourself, but do you feel like you're always hungry and it's very difficult to stick to your diet? I don't really like to call it a diet, but let's call it that.
No, I was afraid that might happen, and it didn't. Um, I used to think of myself as being this, I don't know, foodie is a big word. Like I could try various things, but I thought that could be a problem because I wouldn't be, I don't know, able to eat out. But that's actually pretty easy to take care of. You just kind of try to avoid ridiculous sides and just focus on veg and protein. And eventually it gets easier. It's not a huge steep curve that you need to get over. It's definitely achievable.
And you feel like you can now be, in a way, in control of your own health and nutrition
Yeah,
through
yeah, yeah.
through those actually very simple guidelines that I gave you, right?
Absolutely.
Like nothing crazy. We're not weighing any food. We're not
No.
counting any calories.
Exactly.
That's an approach that I just think is not sustainable and creates anxiety. So we're like
No,
simple.
and again, that's something that I tried years ago. Didn't really work because I had my phone with me all the time trying to count whatever I ate. It's ridiculous. It didn't do anything. It didn't change. Yeah, obviously you need a mental effort, but the curve that you need to go over, it's not that steep. It's
Yeah.
definitely achievable.
Um, great. And you said that now you finally managed to get under or at 80
I'm
kilos?
at 80 kilograms after, I was 85 when I got here, and I haven't been under 82 in many, many years. So, yeah, this feels great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Thank you for sharing your experience.
My pleasure, Flo. Thanks a lot for getting me here.
Oh, that's what I do. That's what I love to do, right? Help people. Awesome. Thanks,
Thanks.
Chris.